Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Life and Love, where we can try to see if we can touch that unconditional love which all realized masters of all tradition have spoken about. In these videos so far, we're trying to establish a foundation from where we can take flight into meditation, so to speak. So if that foundation is there, we can take off into other realm of existence. It is like a plane which cannot take off without an airstrip. So it's the same with us. We need this foundation of understanding of our own being in order to go beyond our bodies and our mind. So this is why I'm talking about today again about the conditioned mind. Last time we explored a little bit of it and seen how it's imperative for us to get rid of the conditioned mind and allow the mind to be pure and to act every day as new, as fresh, without any beliefs, without any preconditions, without any judgments. So how this condition come about? We have stated before that this conditioning comes from the culture we live. It comes from society, from the norms, from family, from the schools we have been to, from religion's beliefs. But more, they are entrenched in us by our very deep-rooted beliefs, which they are very deep-rooted attachments, which cannot let go. So the moment we believe in something, and automatically that belief provides conflict, because another person believes in something else which is opposite to us. So there automatically conflict arises. And unless each one of us is detached from those beliefs, we cannot come to a union of our own minds. So this conditioning is like a bubble which most of us live in. It is a bubble of our own making, and also a bubble of the making of the environment and the culture we lived in. And Jiddu Krishnamurti exposes of how one might decondition the mind. We talked together about awareness before, and it's imperative to stay in that awareness, because only there we can observe with full attention what it is for what it is, and we find reality, we find truth without beliefs, without being attached to this or that. So in that awareness, with no judgments, with no analyzing, with no preconditioned beliefs, we are able to see how the conditioned mind keeps us from living a life of harmony with nature, with all existence. So how one can get rid of these beliefs, this conditioning? The conditioning is Memory also. It's the images which have form and kept in memory. The images about ourselves, about others, and this have to disappear in order for us to be free of this conditioning. That doesn't mean we get rid of memory, because memory is essential to our existence, to our everyday living, to our everyday actions. But attachments to our memories need to be let go. Attachments to our beliefs, they need to be let go. Attachments to everything we think to know, we need to let go. Memory is essential, as we stated, but that memory has to be free. We can look at memory, we can bring something which we need to look at in order to take some actions, and then let it go after the action is completed. The religious beliefs, the political views and beliefs which are made between the certain factions and certain left wing and right wings and moderates, and so to speak. This is what make all the conflict in the world. Imagine a society where beliefs are thrown away, where the political hierarchy have one unison view of reality, and in their reality actions are always the right actions for the benefit of all. That can only come about when we, each one of us, change, and we are free from this conditioned mind. A mind which is free from conditioning, it's a pure mind, and it's not stained by thought, by thinking. It uses thinking in order to act the right way, but is not affected by any of reasoning or thinking. So it is imperative for us to get rid of this conditioning. It is imperative for us to get rid of all our attachments to anything we know and hold dear. Because in that attachment, we are restricting ourselves from opening our mind and heart to love all existence, all creatures, and to love nature. So the awareness of our being happens only when we are quiet, when we are silent. Only in silence, where there's no judgments. Thoughts might be there in silence because it's a natural process to think. Without thinking, we could not exist in this three-dimensional existence. But where we are not attached by thinking, and we use thinking only as a tool to benefit ourselves. So we talked in the past about attachments. We talk about awareness, and we talk about self-knowledge. Self-knowledge comes when one looks at oneself and one understands how the mind works. One understands how we are caught in a bubble of our own making. One understands that we are just a bundle of habits, we are creature of habit. And those habits are very hard to uproot. So there's maybe two ways to uproot habits. One way is in order to take a deep-rooted habit, like for example smoking, you need to replace it with something else. Maybe having a lolly instead of a smoke, or maybe having a puffer instead of smoking cigarettes, and slowly uproot a habit with another one, which is not as gross as the previous one. And then take another habit which is more subtle, and then uproot the previous habit, and so on. Get rid of all habits altogether. But this takes time. It's a process in time which might not succeed. Another option is to look at the habit as a danger. If you meet a snake on the road, straight away you see the danger and you withdraw. Seeing the danger, and you act straight away with no judgment. You seeing the danger changes that danger, because you withdraw from it automatically. So why we cannot see the danger of smoking, the danger of eating too much, the danger of attachments and where they lead us to, the danger of desires, for too much desire and being attached to those desires take us into a state of mind of greed, of control, and so on. Of anger also, if that desire is not fulfilled, or somebody stays in front of us reaching that desire. So why don't we see that danger as it arises? Because our attachments are so deep-rooted that they stop us from seeing reality. Because our desires are so deep, they stop us from seeing our reality. So it is imperative for us to, I think, is to get rid of all our attachments. And slowly in doing so, we are opening a mind where desires, attachments, habits, they drop away by themselves in that watching. In that watching with no judgment, with no prejudice, with no preconditions. There's seeing, there's insight into that attention. So in that insight, you see the danger, and that in that seeing, transformation is on the spot. Not I'll change tomorrow, or I'll change later, or I do this or that in order to change. Because that change is only superficial. So the condition, it is the ego. He lives on that conditioning. And he will try to do anything possible to stop us from deconditioning our minds. So the danger of conditioning, we can see it if we have the intent to look. It takes tremendous energy to stay in that state of awareness for a long time, because the desires, the attachments are drawing us outward. The desire for fulfillment in any way, shape or form always takes us out of awareness. So awareness is the key to self-knowledge, as we stated previously in the videos which were prior to this. Now, I know that this video might be boring to some of you, but they are essential in understanding ourselves. They are essential in understanding life and in touching that unconditional love which very few can touch. In that touching of that unconditional love, there's no conditioning. The mind is free. The mind is free to see reality as it is. You look at the face and you see the sorrow in that being. You look at a person and you see beyond the veil of illusion. You see people for who they are, not for who you want them to be or for who they want to be. So in that seeing, reality exposes itself with no effort. Effort is not needed after one touches reality, because in that reality everything flows naturally without impediments. Problems do not exist in that state of mind. So this condition comes about because our attachments to all these ideas, of all our habits, of all our judgment, prejudices, ideas, and beliefs. If all these are not dropped, we cannot reach a state of mind where love can flow freely, and we can manifest that love in our own being and share it then with all beings. So I encourage you all to look into this, to look how you are conditioned, because every person is conditioned in different ways, different habits, different beliefs, different way of doing things. In a practical level of existence, doing things are not a problem, that we are different in some aspects. The way we cook our meals, the way we do things might differ. But in our inner being, all these attachments need to let go, all the beliefs need to let go. So unless we do that, we cannot never free the mind. And as Christ has told Mary, the mind is between the soul and the spirit supreme. If the mind is pure, the soul can unify itself with the spirit supreme. That union can become fully. So the mind is the key to the union with all existence. If the mind is free from conditioning, the union is there. If the mind is not free, so the union is still there, but only in some aspects and only in flashes of experiences. So when the mind becomes pure, experiences have no meaning. Then the being is in a state of experiencing, with no memory to any experience, with no attachment to any experience. So it flows from one experience to another and enjoy all experiences. In all what one experience then is joy. If one experiences love, or one experiences pain, is no different to the soul, which has touched reality. So without being free, without freeing our minds from all this conditioning, there's no way to reach a state in a world of harmony, of peace, of living together and helping each other have a better lives. So I hope you understand that this is important, and every one of you which is seeking the truth on any spiritual path, either you practice Kriya Yoga, or you do charity, or you practice any spiritual practice, it is all the same, no different. But practice with your heart. Be there fully when you practice, so that practice helps you then decondition the mind, slowly, slowly, letting go of the bubble which we all live in, and expand our mind into a infinite consciousness. Okay, I hope I have somehow described this danger of our conditioning and the imperative fact that we need to get rid of it. Now I wish you have a good day, live in joy and love, and manifest love in your life, regardless of the circumstances and conditions which are in front of you. I hope you have a nice day, and bye bye till the next video.